Namaskaram and Haramadev Jagriji. So, this is my first video. Like my first, full video. So thanks everyone who has come. It just so happens it is here in the West, Thanksgiving. So here in Canada, this is Thanksgiving weekend. So, in the United States alone, there's 46 million turkeys that will be slaughtered on Thanksgiving. And that's just the US alone. Here in Canada, I'm sure it is a very high number as well, And all across the world, in many, many different countries, especially in the Western countries, this is celebrated. And I don't understand this, because the core values of Thanksgiving is to be thankful. To be thankful for just many different things. Just to have gratitude. Whenever you walk through the school here, you go anywhere here, and it will have, what are you grateful for? How is it an act of gratitude to forcibly confine, raise, enslave, and savagely murder millions of turkeys so that we can have our Thanksgiving festivities? How is this being respectful and grateful of life in the world that we inherit and the body that we are given? This should be a time when people are expressing deep gratitude for all beings instead of mercilessly and brutally slaughtering them. And it is industry standard that most turkeys, they may not even be stunned before they get slaughtered. In the processing plants and things, they will be shackled and they will be cut, their throats slit, and it's millions. So this is a day of an atrocity. Well, every day, hundreds of millions of animals die in this world. But this is probably even accelerated in the West because of Thanksgiving. So it's something I would like to try to change. We should always put ourselves in the position of the animal. How would we like to be bred for the purpose of slaughter, raised in captivity for the purpose of slaughter as humans, who are full of protein, who are full of a lot of these same things that the turkey flesh would have? What difference is there really? I'm not saying that humans and animals are the same, but I mean, as far as the will to live and sentience and the ability to feel pain and to have emotions, and this is the same with all sentient life. That is one thing that we do share, is sentience, right? It doesn't matter if it's a turkey being, or if it is a fish being, or if it is a cow being, or if it is a pig, lamb. One thing that we share is that we share sentience. And an integral part of Sanatan Dharma, I think, in general, not just of Shaivism and Trika Shaivism, is that we acknowledge that there is a divinity and an intelligence, a consciousness, a God, which is existing in all sentient beings and insentient beings. But we need to survive somehow as humans. So should we take the plant, which lacks a complex central nervous system and lacks the ability to feel pain in the same extent as an animal? I think this is the best choice. And the consequences environmentally, and the consequences just ethically is very drastically exaggerated when we are farming these animals, slaughtering these animals, killing these animals, when we have the choice. People in today's societies here in the West, we have the choice. We don't need to harm this innocent being. What has it done to us? How would we like to be shackled and then hung upside down with our throats slit so that a different species who is breeding us into existence to be their slaves can celebrate their holiday with our flesh? And like in the words of Gary Yourofsky, he says, they say that we're weird as vegans for eating tofu or eating, lentils or something, and they're stuffing breading in the anal cavity of these birds and cooking them and then pulling them out. And I think it's pretty obvious what's a lot weirder, to be stuffing bread inside the anal cavity of a rotting corpse which you've just cooked from a turkey, when you could just eat plants instead. And as always gets brought up, well, plants, they lack a central nervous system. And many carnists, they will come out and they will say, well, plants have feelings too, and plants have existence too. That is true. Plants exist. Plants have intelligence. They lack the ability to feel pain, at least in the same extent as animals. And even if it was the case that plants could feel pain, well, when you eat animals, you're actually responsible for more plant suffering and more plant death, because those animals need to consume tons of plants as well. And like 83% of the farmland of this world is occupied by the 80 billion animals which we are raising, enslaving, manipulating, exploiting, commodifying, and ultimately brutally slaughtering them for their byproducts and for their flesh and body parts. They're all eating tons of plants. So if you are really concerned about the well-being of plants, even though I don't believe meat eaters actually are, it's just it is just somehow that they can point the finger at it's ammunition. They think this is a valuable, they think this is valuable knowledge or something that they have, but it's not. It can be destroyed very easily. Animals consume more plants than humans, so if you become a vegan, you will be responsible for less plant death, because those animals require tons of plants to grow them, to then slaughter them. They are occupying 83% of the world's farmland. Either for not occupying, indirectly or directly. Like the plants grown for them, and also their grazing lands, right? So it's definitely tragic what's going on this weekend. And people should ask if they would like this to happen to themselves or to their friends or to their family members. And if we don't need to slaughter these turkeys to survive, then why are we doing this? And Thanksgiving, obviously there's a lot of issues with the history of this celebration. It's a kind of Anglo-colonial roots to this celebration. And sure, it brings people together and things. And that's good if it brings people together. But it's tragic that people are being brought together over the death, torture, torment, and suffering of innocent animal beings, that we share this planet with, that we do not need to harm them. If we need to take animal life to survive, like people up here where I live, far in the north, in the subarctic and arctic regions of Canada, they had to survive by taking animal life. But now we don't. And there's so many sustainable solutions, like hydroponic projects, that I've seen up here with my own eyes, that are solar powered, that can grow tons of plants. And if people would start investing in these projects instead of bringing up big trucks and shipping up all the toys to go hunting and to go do all these things and kill more animals and ship up processed meats, Can you imagine if we invested our time and energy in these plant-based hydroponic solar powered projects? We could feed all of northern Canada with these, and it'd be so sustainable, and it would reduce animal mortality and so much, you know. But getting a little bit off topic there, you know, like, I hope everyone who is conscientious and respectful towards, has basic respect for animal life, takes a step back and asks themselves, you know, okay, like, this is a celebration for humans, but this is a genocide. This is a mass murder of another species who we share this planet with. And, you know, and it's not even healthy for us to eat these animal byproducts. So, you know, I hope everybody finds other options for Thanksgiving, you know. I hope families can come together and people can come together without it having to come together over the slaughter, mistreatment, and you know, objectification and torture of these turkeys. And people will hear what I'm saying and they will laugh. You know, it's a shame, but that is true. People will laugh at what I'm saying. But that's okay. Try to get this message out slowly but surely. And thank you all for listening. And there will be more content. I'm just new to this, so I hope that things get better. But this is my first video. It just so happened to be Thanksgiving weekend. Anyways, God bless you all. Jai Mahakal. Har Har Mahadev.